Porsche has had the perfect start to 2024. So far in endurance racing this year, they've been super consistent when it comes to reliability and pace, for example, and that consistency ultimately leads to their success. The fact is, Porsche has been the manufacturer to beat so far, and in this video, I'm going to talk all about why they have been. Porsche's previous season of endurance racing competition in 2023 was great, however, it wasn't overly successful. Just look at the 963 for example. Porsche's LMDH race car was competitive, but mainly over in IMSA's GTP category. In the WEC, the only race it was fighting for overall victory was at the 6 Hours of Fuji. Across the year, it also had its share of reliability issues, and at certain events, it wasn't as competitive compared to other entries. But so far in 2024, the 963 in particular has performed much better compared to last year, and Porsche cars in general competing in endurance racing have been extremely successful. Porsche's first successful adventure in 2024 came at the historic Rolex 24 at Daytona. Porsche cars would be present in both GTP with the 963 racing and in the GTD classes with the 911 GT3R racing. The weekend for Porsche cars started out good, with the AO Racing run Porsche 911 GT3R, nicknamed Rexy, taking pole position in the GTD Pro class thanks to British driver Sebastian Priaulx. But the highlight from the race was the performance of the Porsche 963, which was reliable and consistent on pace throughout the entire 24-hour event. Astonishingly, all 963s from the factory Porsche Penske Motorsport cars to the customer Proton Competition and JDC Miller cars made it to the end of the race with almost zero reliability problems. Across this entire event, the factory Porsche 963s were always in the hunt for the overall victory, especially with the likes of Cadillac. The race win in GTP all came down to that historic sprint to the finish between the number 7 Porsche and the number 31 Cadillac. This was where Porsche driver Felipe Nasr pulled off a courageous defense against the charging Tom Blomqvist in the Action Express Cadillac. Nasr was thankfully successful in doing so, allowing for Porsche to pick up their 19th win at Daytona and start 2024 on a high. This race was a clear indication that Porsche and the 963 were ready to take on the competition in 2024, and the good news was, this Daytona win was just the start for Porsche in 2024. After Daytona came another achievement secured by Porsche in endurance racing, this time in the GT ranks. This was because the number 91 Pure Racing Porsche had taken the championship in the GT category of the Asian Le Mans Series. Pure Racing's Porsche 911 GT3R had taken victory at the second round of the 4 Hours of Sepang and the 4 Hours of Dubai. And because of a later second place finish in Abu Dhabi, Pure Racing's Porsche was able to beat 888's Mercedes to the championship in ALMS by just 2 points. And combined with the earlier win at Daytona, Porsche's championship victory in ALMS was adding to the outstanding success they were having in 2024 so far. The next major endurance race on the calendar was the legendary Bathurst 12-hour held at the Mount Panorama circuit. During this all-GT event, the iconic green and yellow 912 Porsche from Manthey Racing EMA battled for overall victory with the likes of the WRT BMWs and the Sun Energy One Mercedes. And while there was the setback of the pit lane breach that made the Porsche come into the pit lane to serve a penalty, this still wouldn't stop the wonderful team of Manthey EMA and their incredible driver lineup of Ayhan Guven, Matt Campbell, and Lawrence Vanthoor from winning the Bathurst 12-hour overall with this number 912 Porsche 911 GT3R. This also allowed Porsche to take victory at the Bathurst 12-hour for the first time since 2019. And not only did the German manufacturer win in the overall category, but they also won in the lower category of GT racing. This was thanks to the number 911 Manthey EMA car, which took victory in the Pro-Am class. So just to reiterate, Porsche had taken overall victory at Daytona, they had taken the GT championship in ALMS, and won overall and in the lower class at the Bathurst 12-hour. And by the time these 3 achievements have been secured, we hadn't even made it to the 3rd month of 2024. So it's safe to say, Porsche were on a roll this year. The fact is, even after these 3 achievements were secured, the German auto manufacturer continued to be successful in 2024. In this year's season opener of the World Endurance Championship, the entries in both Hypercar and LMGT3 were looking very competitive. The Porsche cars were looking very quick in both testing and practice, and when it came to qualifying, Matt Campbell put the number 5 Porsche Penske on pole position in the Hypercar category. And when it came to the 963s, even though BOP was a factor into why Porsche was competitive, the cars had still improved by quite a lot compared to 2023. Across the 10-hour endurance race in Hypercar, the Porsche 963 entries from the factory Porsche Penske Motorsport team and Hertz Team Jota were always in the fight for the leading positions in the category. There was competition from both manufacturers of Ferrari and Peugeot, but in general, Porsche had the upper hand. And after overtaking the number 93 Peugeot 9X8 Hypercar, the number 6 factory Porsche continued to lead from that point onwards. And in LMGT3, the Porsche cars definitely had competition, especially from the British manufacturer of Aston Martin, but even so, that number 92 Porsche was very competitive. And after a spin for the number 27 Aston Martin, this car took over from the lead and stayed there pretty much till the flag. So the number 6 factory Porsche Penske Motorsport entry would win the Qatar 1812 km overall. And even though second position in Hypercar was inherited by Porsche because of the heartbreaking moment for the number 93 Peugeot 9X8 Hypercar, Porsche would lock out the top 3 positions in Hypercar, meaning that the German marque would become the first manufacturer in the WEC to fill the top 3 positions since Audi did it at the 6 Hours of Spa in 2013. Not only did Porsche take their first victory in Hypercar and lock out a magnificent 1-2-3 sweep of the podium, but this win would also mark the first time that an LMDH prototype would win overall in the WEC. And let's not forget that Porsche not only won in the Hypercar category, but also in LMGT3 with that number 92 Manthey Pure Racing Porsche. And like I said before, while we can't deny that balance of performance was a factor in Porsche's win, we still can't overlook the fact that Porsche did achieve this by taking first, second, and third in Hypercar and the win in LMGT3. As of releasing this video, which is before the 12 hours of Sebring, Porsche has won every major endurance race, including a championship victory in ALMS. Talk about consistency in 2024, because Porsche has been absolutely on fire so far. What are your thoughts about this seemingly perfect start to the year for Porsche in endurance racing? Will they continue this pace across the rest of the year? Well, as always, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly suggest you do so, considering I make endurance racing content mainly on WEC and IMSA every single week. And if you want to see another video, check out the options on the screen. So for now, that's it from me. I'll see you all in the next video.